It's a great pleasure to welcome you, Schaghajegh Nosrati. She's a wonderful, wonderful pianist, and of my younger colleagues, to me she's the only one who really plays Bach wonderfully. And not just Bach, but his ultimate masterpiece, the art of fugue. Tell us something about your relationship with Bach and how you came to know him and to love him.
Yes, so I started learning this piece when I was about 16 years old, and I have to say it was one of the best decisions I could take, because it taught me so many important things. I think there's nothing like the music of Bach for a musician that can be so helpful. You learn how to produce a transparent but singing sound. You have you develop the ability to work with every finger very independently. You learn about rhythm, about musicality, so everything, and it's all in his music. So I'm very glad and thankful also to my former teacher that I could start playing this music very early. Of course, I didn't start with the Art of Fugue as the first piece.
I should hope so.
But when I was a child, we already started with other pieces, smaller pieces from Klavierbüchlein für Anna Magdalena Bach, then the Inventions and so on, and we built it up, and then it was just a gradual way until there.
So this is Bach's final masterpiece.
Yes.
It's not even finished, is it?
No,
but I wouldn't call it incomplete. And maybe you could show us how it starts and what is the basic idea. We have here different fugues and canons, and everything is in D minor from beginning to end. So why don't you show us the beginning?
Yes, with pleasure. So it starts with this central theme. The basic idea is to show how many, all the various contrapuntal things that are inherent in this theme. So he develops this theme over the whole piece, and even though the whole thing is in D minor, he never repeats himself. It's really fantastic how he manages.
Yes, and so this was the main subject, but why don't you continue with how this first fugue develops?
Very much.
So we don't know what instrument Bach wrote this for, do we?
No, there is no indication of the instrument.
Also in the musical offering and this one. So, however, it lies perfectly well for the two hands. So one can play this with string instruments or whatever, but I think the point is that it's for one player.
Yes, true.
And it's not an ensemble piece.
Yes.
So already this first fugue is incredibly complex. Just show us a few other examples what Bach is doing with this theme and the devices that he is using, yes? So,
yes.
second contrapunctus, he calls them contrapunctus, yeah?
Yes.
Contrapuncti.
Yes. So in the second he inserts this dotted rhythm, which is very characteristic. Plus he also starts to extend the harmonies, because in the first one he doesn't dwell too much on very complicated harmonies except for a few places, but in the second one he already goes also to more remote harmonies. Here I can show it. So the beginning of the theme, but there's, for example, one place where he goes to F major, which is totally new until here. Now going to B flat major. Then should we continue with?
Yes, just to give us samples.
Yes.
I know it's very difficult, but since you know it so well, so third one.
Yes.
What
so
happens
here
in the third contrapunctus?
So it's interesting that from now on he also uses the inversion of the theme.
So show us how it's inverted, yes?
Yes, so it means that the leap up becomes a leap down.
Yes,
and
like in a mirror.
Yes, and steps down becomes steps up and so on. So, for example, this element of the theme becomes and so on. I will play the whole theme now. Another interesting thing here is that the counterpoint, it becomes more and more chromatic, which was not the case before. Like and so on. Then there is also, it's interesting because he also varies the theme within this fugue. There's another variation of it which is actually already anticipating counterpoint number 5. So
he's filling out the gaps.
Exactly, and playing it in a dotted rhythm, because number 5 sounds like this. Yes, and this is basically the main ideas.
This is number 5, yes.
Yes.
How about the stile francese?
Yes, this is number 6. And here, for the first time, he also uses the diminution of the theme. So this means that the theme it comes in inverted form and also with in double speed or with
shorter note values. Yes.
Yes.
Why don't you show us? Yes.
So this would be the basic form, and this is the chorus. So and this dotted rhythm is of course characteristical for French overture, but also in the episodes there are a few places which are very typical.
Yes, the French overture.
Yes.
We just talked about that before.
Yes.
And Bach has never been to France.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But he knew it inside out.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And
what happens after the French overture?
Then comes again a Stretto fugue. So all these fugues are actually Stretto fugues because he doesn't play the first theme entry entirely and then follows with the chorus, but the answer is coming earlier, so it comes before the first theme entry is finished. And in the 7 it's also Stretto fugue, but he also adds the augmentation. So not just.
So we had now the main form. We had diminution.
Yes.
We had inversion.
Yes.
Now comes the augmentation.
Yes.
So larger
Yes.
note values.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it really becomes also multidimensional when you listen to it. It's very interesting. So it starts actually with the diminution. Then the basic form, diminution, now augmentation in the bass, is finished. Maybe one interesting aspect about this music is it's not only very close to vocal music, but sometimes it becomes also very rhetorical. I feel like it has a very rhetorical.
It speaks,
it speaks a lot, and I feel it's also in this fugue by the end. Let me find the place.
Harmony becomes more dense.
Yes.
With each fugue.
Exactly.
Yes.
So this were the.
How about the? Is that the next one?
It's the one after the next.
Yes.
Number 9.
Show us that, because this is now very new.
Yes.
And
true.
very virtuosic.
So. So this is a double fugue. It has two themes actually. This was the first theme that we heard, and then comes the second theme, which is actually our very first theme of Contrapoint 1. So and so on. And for the first time, also after a long period, we hear it again in the basic form, so without any dotted rhythm, without anything. So and so yes. So yeah, this fugue belongs to the group of 4 fugues which have all multiple themes. So I would say 8, 9, 10 and 11 somehow built an own group.
Yes.
And number 10 is also very interesting.
Are you playing all the canons too?
Yes.
In this program,
I will
yeah?
play them, yes. And I felt that, I mean, we don't really know where they should be positioned because there's no numbering for them, but I feel the best place would be after number 11, because number 11 is one of the most complex and very dense pieces, and it also has 4 voices. It's very chromatic, and after listening to this, it is a little bit of a relief to have a piece which has less voices. And I mean, it's still very demanding, but
it's very complex.
Yes.
With 2 voices.
Yes.
Already we just saw it with the duets.
Yes.
And here he goes even further.
Yes.
Very modern.
Absolutely.
Show us one of these canons.
I
What
mean,
he's doing.
like there's this canon in augmentation and contrary motion. I mean, it's interesting also how much the theme has changed already at this point, and how modern.
But of course, it's not abstract music because it's alive and it vibrates, and we have to fill it with character.
True. Yes.
Yes, and then maybe something about the final fugue. If you would please tell us something about that, because it's very unique.
Yes, I mean, there's a lot to discuss about this piece, but what we have is a fugue with 3 themes. Probably, or one can assume that he wanted also to introduce a 4th theme. So
with his name.
I mean, yes, the 3rd theme is actually already with BACH with his name, but who knows, maybe also one theme in the original form, or but it stops
so
at the point.
So what are the 3 themes?
The first is what I would call the eternal or the divine theme, for many reasons. It's interesting, it's also the only theme that if you would start it from the last note and going backwards, it has exactly the same notes.
That's what we call a palindrome.
Yes, a palindrome.
It's the same forwards and backwards.
And
very good. Yes, Bach was a great scientist.
Yes.
And also all the symbols of the numbers.
Totally. I mean, already the number 14, it appears a lot in this piece.
The 14 is when you add his letters.
Yes.
So B is 2, A is 1, C is 3, and H is 8.
Exactly.
And together they are
Yes.
14.
For example, in Counterpoint 2, the theme is introduced 14 times also, and many other places. And I also felt, I mean, this is a personal feeling, but because there seems to be a shift also towards triple rhythm and the number 3 in this piece. So the first 11, there's not a single triplet in them, but then with the canons and also with the mirror fugues, it starts to have a shift towards the number 3 in the rhythm, in the meter, and I feel it's not a coincidence. So it is, of course, this number 3, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, this
the
symbolism.
Holy Trinity.
Yes. And
so play a little bit of this final
yes.
fugue, and also where it breaks off.
Yes.
And when it do you finish where he finishes?
Yes, I follow the manuscript because I mean it would be ridiculous to play some to
chorale.
Yeah. I feel that there is nothing to say after this.
I completely agree with you, because in the visual arts also, when we have like Michelangelo's Prisoners, which is a torso, so nobody would think of coming with a hammer and finish it. But in music, many people want to be more clever than the composer. So I don't think we should finish Schubert's Unfinished Symphony.
Yes.
And certainly not this.
No.
It's much more heartbreaking.
Yes. True. So let me just introduce the 2 other themes, which didn't yet. The second is this one. This one. And the last one is his name. It's B flat A C and.
Yes, play those 4 notes. Of course, English-speaking people don't know what an H is.
Yeah, it's.
But in German, an H is a H, and it's B natural in English.
Yes.
But yes, so.
By the way, this motive already appears also a few times before. It's a bit hidden, but for example, in number 11, it also comes. The last episode.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's his signature, and it's so. Yeah.
So how does it break when he cannot finish it? And what happened? It's a legend.
Yeah, I mean his son. There's a handwritten note by his son, Carl Philipp. He said that when he introduces this BACH theme, at this point when it comes in the counterpoint, that the composer died. But it is a legend because we also have already sketches and even the manuscript of this piece, which dates much before. So he already wrote them probably around 1742. He started already writing them. So yeah, but still, I can show this place.
Yes. Well, of course, one has to experience a masterpiece from the first note to the last note, but I think this was a very good introduction, and we thank you very much, and
Thank you so much.
looking forward to the complete performance.
Thank you so much.